We got a pretty nasty burn hole in the brand new seat on my Jeep, along with this bullshit stain from sitting a cup of something on the cover. So we're gonna try and fix it. First thing I want to try to do is get this stain out. I got this windshield washer fluid here, and let's see if we can wipe that out. That seemed to get the stain out. That's gonna take a couple tries, so let's try to get this hole fixed. We're gonna take a razor blade and we're gonna cut this where it's melted. It's melted, so we gotta cut that off. See if we can get that out. Okay, let's see what good that does. Okay, so now we removed all the melted seat cover stuff, and we have kind of a deep hole. And now we have the Permatex fabric repair kit that we're going to use, and it comes with a whole bunch of different colors, ways to mix it, but I only need, luckily it's a black seat, and I only have to mix one color. This little ball right here is for mixing different colors to get different things. So we're going to take this piece of cloth right here, and we're going to cut a little piece, and then we're going to fill the hole with cotton. We have this little thing of fabric adhesive and this spatula that comes with the kit, and what we're going to do is we're going to fill that hole with adhesive and then pack it with cotton. Now what we're doing here is we're filling the hole and soaking underneath with fabric adhesive, making that hole sticky. You got a little more here. I want it to fill that hole all the way. This is kind of hard to do, holding a camera and doing this at the same time. Okay. Now we're going to pack that hole with cotton to build it up where the hole is, so it's even when it's finished. A little bit more adhesive here. A little more adhesive. Okay. And a little more. Okay. And fill it right to the edge. Okay, now I think we're done with that for a minute. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to take this piece of fabric right here, and we're going to cut a little piece of it to fit underneath the hole, underneath the seat fabric, between the fabric and the foam. Let's do that. Okay, now we've cut our piece of fabric, and we're going to put it in the hole, and we're going to work it underneath. We're going to work it underneath the seat fabric. Let me see if I can get this camera to focus on what I'm doing here. Okay, now I don't have to do, I guess. Let me turn this around. Okay, resting the camera on the steering wheel so I can work with both hands here. And I should have did that from the beginning. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to work this fabric in the hole underneath between the fabric and the foam, and over the top of the cotton thing that I put in there. And we want this all underneath in here. This is what we want. Looks nasty, but that's what it says to do. So let's follow the directions and see. By no means am I an upholsterer. I build furniture, but this is the first time I've ever done this. And I'm going to get seat covers for these seats. Not that that'll do any good, because I burnt through a towel that I had on here to make this hole, because I didn't notice that the ash had dropped off my cigarette. So that's what happens when you smoke. You fuck your lungs up, and you fuck your seat covers up. Seat cover out. Alright, so that's underneath, between the fabric and the foam, and you just gotta get it under there. You gotta push it and get it under there. And try to get all the things out from under there. Okay. Now, it says apply generously amount of adhesive. And this adhesive is white, but it dries clear. So whatever you put on top of this color matching thing here is going to dry clear. So we're going to poke that in there. Make sure that all the edges are covered. Make sure that that glue flows underneath to adhere the patch quilt thingy to the bottom of the seat cover and the foam and all that's underneath. Okay. A little bit more, I think. And we'll let that soak in. And this says to give it overnight to dry. So if you do this kind of repair with this kit, you want to make sure that you're not going to have to drive the car anywhere while this is still wet. Okay, now we have black powder here, which would be nice if they label the jars, but this is what it is. These damn things are impossible to get open because they're too small to get any leverage on them. Okay. They want you to put this stuff on this little piece of screen they give you, and then tap the screen to filter this through to distribute it. I can't even see the thing now. I can't even see where it was touched. Okay. This looks like it's going to be a fantastic little repair. If I didn't know it was there, I probably would not notice it. And what you see is wet there. What appears to be wet is the glue and the thing I did before with the spray to try to get that cup stain out. Okay, looks like a good repair. And we will leave that and see what happens in the morning when it's dry and we clean it up. It looks nasty now. But I think by looking at it with my eyes instead of the camera accentuates a lot more than your eye can see. We're just going to leave this be until the morning. put the stuff away, and we're not going to touch it until tomorrow morning, and we will see what happens. A lot of YouTube videos say scratch some of the stuff off the seat, but you're not. If I scratch off the seat, I'm not getting any fuzz on my blade. So if you're looking at those videos to scratch fuzz off your seat or fuzz off your carpet, I don't think it's going to be as good a repair as this. So let's see what happens. So now we're back to the car, and let's see what this thing looks like. Let me brush it away. And we still got a little bit of a hole there. So it's going to take a little bit more work. We will do that tonight. In fact, let me get a little close up here. What happened was I didn't put enough glue, and the part of it that stuck, and the part of it that didn't stuck, and it was blown away here. But this part here is a piece of dried glue that needs to be cut off and needs to be redone. So I might use the car today, so I'm going to leave this alone until this evening and see what happens. We'll put another layer on it, and we'll tamp it down a little bit so it sticks better, and we'll see what the end result is. So now here we are a few hours later, and we're going to try to focus this camera a little bit better by moving the steering wheel. Okay, I got it resting on the steering wheel. We got this little clump of glue that I want to cut off, but I decided that it probably will be better to grind it off at slow speed with a Dremel tool. So let's do that. You don't want to do this too fast, because what will happen is it'll melt the fabric and will end up messing up the repair. Okay, so here we just gotta grind that down a little bit and get rid of that bump, because we don't want that interfering with our smooth repair. Okay, looks like it's coming. Be very careful. Okay, that's done. And we're gonna put a little bit more of this adhesive. It's pretty hot out. It's about 90 degrees out. So this glue container is a piece of shit. I'm getting more glue on me just trying to open this damn thing that I'm going to use on the repair. Should have used 35mm film containers for this crap. There's absolutely no way you can get a grip on this damn thing to open it properly, unless you got fingers like a Chinaman. Okay, we're gonna take a little bit of this stuff and we're gonna mash it into the hole. I mean, this looks like it's gonna be a multi-step process, because the hole is deep and you don't want to get it where it's a hump. You want it to be level with the seat. So you're probably going to have to do this in stages. Hopefully this is the last stage. It'll come out decent. We want to make the adhesive adhere to the edges, so we want to get it all in there. Okay, it looks like it's all covered except for this one little piece here. Okay, all the way to the edges, all the way to the edges. adhesive, when it dries, usually shrinks. So that's probably why we still ended up with a little depression. And these little containers are ridiculous to try to open. They're too small to get a grip on. Okay, that one came out a little bit better. And we pour this stuff on here. I think the mistake I made was not tamping it in a little bit. Put that word. Just a little more of this stuff. I think that's a little bit much. But what the purpose of doing this is, I have no clue. But I am just going to tap it to make sure that it is being absorbed into the adhesive. Well, let's see if I can wipe this thing off a little bit. Wipe the glue off the spatula. And then use the dry spatula to try to rearrange the distribution of that black material so that it, let me use the other end. We'll mash it into the hole, and I see I mashed a little piece of glue up with it, which is probably why they don't tell you to do what I'm doing, but I think it'll work out just fine if I can get this evenly distributed in the hole and evenly. This will probably fix this stupid stain too that's on the seat, but let's see. I think I need just a little more of this stuff. I'm just going to forego the screen and just dump it on there with the spatula and kind of see, when you tamp it, the glue wants to come up through this mixture. But I think if you tap it, okay, that looks like it might work. That looks like it might work. Where the hell is it? Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. You can hardly see it. There's a close-up of it. If it dried like that and was able to be level that way it is, you would hardly see the damage at all. Well, let's see what happens. We'll wait a couple hours and come back. Should be dry by then. Okay, now this is the third application. It came out pretty good, I think. There's very little that I have to do here. You must maybe scrunch down this little glue harden the fabric a little bit so that it makes it nice and smooth. Glue this down a little bit. And they don't tell you to use a Dremel tool in the instructions. They're supposed to be able to do this just with the stuff that comes in the kit. But the best laid plans of mice and men, you know how that goes. Okay, so let me try to do this. These little jars are very nasty to handle. Just want to let you know. If you got, my hands aren't that big, but if you got big hands, I'd have somebody with little hands to help you open these jars, because if you spill this on yourself, you're going to end up in the shower trying to get it off you. It's pretty sticky stuff. Some people say that you can do this with Elmer's glue. I don't know if that's what this is. It looks like Elmer's glue, but it doesn't work like Elmer's glue. It's a bit, I think it's a bit thicker than that crap that they use in school. Okay, so that is filled to the edges. And again, I want to emphasize that you have to have the edge fabric soaked in this stuff, otherwise it'll probably peel off on you. Make sure that you get all the edges, and that looks like I got it all practically, except for this little thing right here. And I believe this is going to come out to be a decent repair. It's not going to be invisible, but then again, I know it's there. Sure is a hell of a lot better than a 50 caliber hole in the seat. This is what this turned out to be. It looked like somebody shot it with a 50 caliber pistol. These damn containers are just a nightmare. Okay, let me get the black stuff on the screen. We'll see what we can do about that ring. I don't know where that came from. It looks like I set a cup of something down there and it made the seat white. I don't know why. Okay, I'm going to touch it. Make sure that it contacts the adhesive. That should do it. One more little shot here, because I want to make sure that that stuff, I'm going to go through this again. Okay, that should suffice. And we'll come out here tomorrow morning when it's all dry, and we'll see how this repair went. It looks like it looks a lot worse on the camera than it does looking at it with your eye. If it wasn't for the black was a little blacker than the seat, I wouldn't have noticed that hole at all just walking up to the car. So we shall see what we shall see tomorrow. Well, as you can see here, the repair is needing one more application and a little bit of trimming, but it has become more or less level with the seat, so it is going to be a great little repair, and it's even looking like it's going to mimic the fabric pattern. So what you're seeing on the camera right now is enhanced because you can hardly see this with your naked eye, because I'm zooming in and you can see the magnification is way more than you would have looking at it with your eye from a distance. So one more application today and it should be done. Okay, now since we have a little bit of a rough spot here that is above the surface of the seat, we're gonna, doesn't say to do this in the instructions, but I'm just gonna take very, very, very fine 400 grit sandpaper and sand this down so that it is even with the seat. There's a little bit of hard material here that you don't want sticking in your legs while you're sitting on the seat. So I'm gonna scratch that off. And this is gonna have to be cut off because it's hardened glue. See that little piece that fell off there? That's hardened glue. These repairs are not as easy as they look, apparently. So let me see if I can do this without cutting the shit out of my seat. You see, these pieces cannot be part of the repair. This stringy shit that's hardened glue cannot be part of the repair. So, razor. Trying to hold the seat away from the razor. And you see all of these hard pieces are falling away. See this? This would do damage to your repair. And there's still stringy crap here. Okay, let me do this. We want to get that as smooth as possible. Okay, we want to get that out of there. All those errant strings that are sticking up. We want that out of the way. And we don't want to cut the shit out of the seat. We want to get all of this extraneous garbage out of the repair. Okay. Now, looks like it's going to take another hit. So let's do that. Our little impossible to open thing here. I'm not going to do it over the seat because in case I spill it, I don't want to do it over the seat. So we'll have a towel over here that we can do it. Jesus. Starting up his damn lawnmower. Okay, let's do this again. Since it is so nice out, this repair will probably dry in a couple of hours. Fuck me. I just spilt the whole freaking thing on my seat. Alright, I'll get that later. you don't have surgeon's hands, it's hard to handle those little, what do you call it, so powder that they give you. Let me see if I can get the rest of this up off my damn seat. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. I think I made more of a mess here than I started with, but it seems to be working, and it looks a lot better. It looks a lot better than it did before with the hole in it, but we're running out of juice here. I don't know why this shit is necessary to put it through a screen, but I guess they want it evenly distributed, and they don't trust dumping it out of a can. Okay, so we'll come back in a couple hours and see how we done. So here we are after the last application, and we see that the hole is visible, but a lot better off than we were before. This is kind of disappointing because it didn't match the seat color or the seat texture, but it did fill the hole. So if you're going to use this product, I highly recommend that you find another method or means, because as far as I'm concerned, this seat repair didn't go as well as it could have. It worked, but it didn't work well enough for my taste. Thank you for listening. If you find these videos useful, please hit the like button and subscribe. Share them with your friends and help us grow this channel. Thank you.